Hey, welcome, children of the interwebs and creepy old men of the internet. This is the Woke Podcast. I think this is episode number 7, but could be wrong. I can't count very well. Uh, I'm in pre-cal. So we have our recurring guest, Miss Henderson. If you would like to say a few words,
Hello. I like
yes.
juicy content.
Yes, this is epic. This is epic. All right, so so this is I don't really know what we're gonna talk about. I mean, start ranting about some dumb crap. But anyways, do you have any topics in mind you'd like to start with? Because I'll just start ranting about anything.
Um, there was this one that me and this kid had talked about, and it was like how trends influence like things that can be good or bad, and usually it's trends influence good things, but in the wrong way.
So could you elaborate what you mean by that?
So like very controversial. Um,
Don't worry, if you heard the things I say on here, it's I was screaming about it was bad.
um,
Trying to ban religion is not good.
oh, it's like how like what is it? What is it? Black Lives Matter became like a big boy trend, but it's a thing that
Yes. So would you say that it undermined the original message of being a person of color suffering from unjust society, let's say, and it became this, it got taken over? What would you say?
yeah, kind of like that, like how like people just all of a sudden just started using it as like a way to like single people out, like oh you don't support it, blah 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 blah, and
So,
trying to make them feel
so
bad.
like, what would you say the demonization of the opposition, let's say?
Yes.
So, are you concerned about that necessarily, or the fact that what would you say a good movement has devolved into this whatever chaos? Something maybe like feminism, which is incredibly important, but all people know about are whatever screaming people with green hair or something, even though it's very crucial in society.
Well, wait, like as feminism, like as a trend thingy.
No, I mean, what would you say your biggest concern about those? What would you say trends or popular when it becomes mainstream? Let's say.
Oh, oh, oh. Well, you see, I just don't like it when things like that, like serious topics, become like really, really popular for the wrong reasons, and like sometimes it just conveys like the wrong message about things, and it the kind of just what's the word? Dear Lord, it just it undermines like the true meaning of whatever movement it
So
was
the
originally.
original point or the actual goal of it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my opinion on that. I think what I find so tragic is that when that happens, is that most people become maybe annoyed or tend to like not support that,
Yes.
and the original issue, let's say racism or misogyny, like does not get better. And I mean that, and the movement that was trying to help change that becomes demonized. So it it's sort of like we've solved no problems, and we've become more divided, and it's just it's just it's rough. It's rough.
Yes, it sucks. because like I don't want to make it just about black people, but I mean it's just such
I
a
mean,
recent
yeah, that's.
example.
I mean, it's what I find really hilarious. That people, people be like, "Well, Black Lives Matter." What do you mean all lives matter? It's like, well, yeah, yeah, people know this, but it seems like black people's life don't matter because most people don't get gunned down in the streets. Most people didn't have to survive through Jim Crow laws. Most people weren't slaves for 200 years. Most people didn't have to fight against segregation and lynchings. You understand that? That's why it's called Black Lives Matter, not All Lives Matter.
Exactly. Because all lives initially, like all lives, yes, they do matter. But when one group is being like targeted and stuff, it kind of just it brings light to the whole situation of all lives matter. Because if all lives really mattered, then why is this one group of people being targeted the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, there is some merit to that because plenty of white people die from police brutality, and it's very much, what would you say, under publicized because maybe it's a political agenda or essentially, but which I'm aware of and I'm sure you're aware of. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just my opinion on it. It's very much like I'm deeply a pessimist, and it's just like everything is so damn complicated and so it's like I wish there was a magic solution, but there just isn't, and we don't even know what the solution is. It's like, well, everybody wants. Well, I wish police officers, whatever, had better training, but had better uh screenings when they're elected or whatever when they get the job, and I wish everybody would just do the right thing. But well, it's like murder is wrong. Most people, most of everybody agrees, or rape is wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
it's present everywhere. So I don't necessarily know how to. Obviously, we're never gonna end it completely, let's say, but we can definitely do a lot better. But I'm just not sure how we're supposed to do that. You know?
Yeah, and it really sucks because it's not even like a majority of police officers. It's like a very small percentage, and it reminds me of
Yeah.
that saying where like one bad apple spoils like the like ruins the whole
Yes,
pie.
it's one bad apple and you have to throw out the whole basket.
Mm-hmm.
That's this is sort of going off topic, but it's something like school shooters, right? Because or shootings in general. It's like it isn't very common, but it doesn't make it any less tragic. It should be zero. Like it
Mm-hmm.
should be zero people who are doing police brutality or shootings or maybe racial attacks. But the depressing thing is that it will never be zero, and but that doesn't mean we just keep the things the way it is because we can always be better.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's very hard to know what to how to make it better.
yeah, because there's always gonna be that one person or group of people who are gonna think that the solution is worse than what the problem is, or something like that.
And maybe sometimes that is, we're looking at something like COVID, which is certain what would you say measurements we have taken. We're mainly talking about America because we live in America and etc. But
Mm-hmm.
some of it, let's say, may have been an overreaction, or maybe and also we didn't really know what to do, and we've caused many people to lose their jobs, and child abuse and domestic violence and depression and suicides have been higher because of that. And it's so it's I think there's the annoying thing to me is that every side always has a point. Some sides points is much better, but every side always has a point that is true, and it's so
Mm-hmm.
annoying because it just you can't really get anywhere, you know.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'm trying to analyze what you said, and it 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 fixed my jacket at the same time, man.
It's fine. It's fine. If you need me to start talking or something, I'll start. You know what I mean? Screwed by the CIA.
Oh god.
Gulf of Tonkin, start screwing about My Lai massacre and shit.
Oh lord. No. Or why you lost. Nah, nah. Let's talk about why you lost faith in humanity.
Oh my god, let me not. Let me not. This is gonna be here for 5 hours. But to put the basic gist, look, listen, this is gonna be deeply controversial. Okay, uh, many of the religious traditions, let's say. Now, let me preface this by saying I believe in God. I just don't believe in religion. And what I mean by that is that I don't believe in the homogenation of religious doctrine or practices, discipline, whatever you want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and when it comes to it as a group thought or as a community, it always goes bad. The most blatant examples of this is Christianity and Islam, and mainly because they're the two biggest uh, religions, and also they have a lot of similarities, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you look at the Crusades. I mean, like hundreds of millions of people died through the Crusades. Islamic, uh, what would you say, expansionism. That is true by that too. People from Africa, people from most of the planet have suffered tragically. And a lot of those practices are, what would you say, outdated in the literal sense. I think some of it, most of all of it is can be practiced in a metaphorical sense, like perhaps like literary works, like whatever. You can maybe the literal story is outdated, but the lessons or the morals or the themes of it is practice is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that to be true for the religious um, traditions, but I think most of it, I don't know if you know this, in Islam and in Catholicism and most Abrahamic faiths, you cannot you cannot sort of disagree with anything in the Quran or Bible or Old Testament, New Testament, etc.,
Yeah.
or even Judaism. So what happens is that if you cannot disagree with, or you can't ever say something is outdated or some of it, because there's horrible things in it. It's like justifying slavery or saying that the role of women is to be, or a wife is to be obedient to a husband. And there's I could sit here and give you a billion examples, but there's no need. Most people know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is however, that wouldn't say that means just throw away the whole thing, but I would argue that it'd be you take that into consideration, and most of it you do see it because most people, most Christians or whoever wouldn't agree with all of the things in it, but they do agree with some of it. But however, it's so damaging. And my main critique of it would be Islam because, well, number one, I know the most about it, and also it hasn't, what would you say, reformed as much as Christianity has because of people like Martin Luther, Friedrich Nietzsche, um, all the saints, all the churches, Christianity, the separation of church and state, you know,
Mm-hmm.
etc. So, for example, in the Middle East, most countries, it's punishable by capital punishment to leave the religious tradition, right? And most of it is outlawed. And there's a lot of very damaging, what would you say, gender roles or identity issues that you
Mm-hmm.
just simply can't practice. And this isn't mainly a religious thing, it's more of a cultural thing, right? Because in lots of Hindus who are not Muslims or Christian or whoever, whatever, have the same exact values and practice it. However, I would still say I believe 90% of European Muslims do not support gay people or something like that. And,
Yeah.
a lot of the Christians and Catholics are the same way.
Yeah.
So, you know, So I've always been very much, what would you say, trying to figure out how to solve this problem, because most people say, well, let's just throw away all this religion stuff, religion, whatever. But the problem with that is that's a far worse problem, because uh,
Yeah.
Nietzsche or Dostoevsky says, well, people would become nihilistic. And this is very much true. So I would say, but I would disagree is that I don't think that's universally true. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm agnostic, right? I do believe in God. I suppose I am a theist, but I just don't know anything. Like, I couldn't tell you anything about it, and I don't think we can know anything about it. The best we can do is somewhat make a theory, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are atheist or agnostic or whatever, that are perfectly reasonable people who who just average people just like everybody else. So I don't
Mhm.
think, but the problem is a lot of people, let's say in Africa or the Middle East or South Asia or whatever, that they can't cope because it's so ingrained into their, what would you say, personality, tradition,
Yeah.
family structures. They just can't cope with that. God is this convoluted thing, and those religious truths, let's say, or that Muhammad was, I mean, a horrible person. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
you'd get killed if for just saying that,
I
for
know.
a lot of the places. But I mean, that's what it. And me personally, I live in here, and I'm still kind of terrified to say that. So that should speak volumes about those things.
Mhm.
And obviously, that's just one aspect. There's, the government's run by demon pedophiles. The most of the world runs on slavery. Most of the world is racist. Most of the world is sexist. Most of the world is homophobic. I could sit here, start screaming about the suffering of existence, but everybody knows those. But
Yeah. And I think what really sucks is that you can't really, how do I say this? You can't really change anything about religion because a lot of people, religion, like I think you already said this, but religion kind of like gives people like a purpose to live.
I think
And
that is, sorry to cut you off, but let me just get this out. I think
mhm.
the biggest reason for religion is that it's something like life is meaningless. I don't agree with this. I'm just saying this as a proposition, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Life is meaningless. The universe doesn't care about you. So you have to somehow, but the problem is you can't exist like that. You're not a human being if you can exist like that. So somehow you have to cope with that, and religion sort of answers everything,
Yes.
right? So I think it's something like that. So keep going with what you're trying
You kind of said what I was
to.
gonna say.
Sorry.
No, you're good, bro.
Yeah, it's, these are, I think, a lot of, especially young people. I don't know if you how many people you've talked to. I know certainly a few people who are atheists, or whatever. I've seen young people who are atheist, or maybe against Christianity or religion, because maybe they didn't they didn't care to go to church. They maybe they were gay, maybe they were whatever, or maybe they
Mhm.
didn't understand why certain traditions or certain values are overemphasized, because they don't necessarily agree with it, because maybe they see things like we talked about, like slavery and things being defended in the traditions, and certain levels of misogyny, and they don't agree with that, and they want to so just cast away all of religion. And I think that's, sadly, they're just not possible. And people who may think like that, I would advise you differently. Just, it's a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have to cast it away. Just like do what I did. Just reform it and make it into something that fits you, I guess. Like, I don't
Well,
know.
I would say I think that is possible, But I think the problem with that is that's a very Western perspective, and I don't blame you for having that. But I know a lot about it, and since that most of the planet, since religion is such a big part of the culture, that it
Mhm.
is essentially the culture itself, right?
Mhm.
So it's like it's incredibly difficult. Like people don't even know what atheist or agnostic means in a lot of the lot most of the world, let's say rural or third world or something like that. So it's like
Mhm.
they don't have that privilege, they don't have that knowledge, they don't have maybe Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Maybe they don't have that access to what we have right now. Is that we've grown up, and I don't think your family's oppressive or in any sort of religious sense. So they just like in most of those, let's say India or something. A lot of it is deeply sexist. But the problem is nobody even understands what sexism is. So how are you gonna solve it? You know.
Let's see. Maybe it's because, like, especially what you just said back to the sexism thing. Maybe it's because, like, they've lived with it for so long that they don't even really begin to question it, I guess. Like, it isn't like they don't know what it is, they just don't
Hmm.
question it because they're so used to it happening. They're like, well, why change it?
It's
Because they'll change everything.
normality. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so complicated. It's just, I always think it's like people will say, look on the bright side. It's like I've been trying to do that my whole life. You
Exactly.
don't understand how difficult that is, you know. And it's just, like I really do envy people who are like surface level, who just don't have thoughts, who like think the world's worst problem is that their Wi-Fi is bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like most people may be thinking I'm making a joke, but like I deeply envy that. You know what I mean? I wish I could be that, but I just not. It's like people will tell you, because like, oh, well, stop thinking about these things. You'll stress yourself out. It's like God, I wish I
No,
could
right?
stop.
I wish I could be oblivious to these problems, but I can't really do that if they're like
You
right
know,
there.
this is what it is. It's like I wish there was a magic solution, but what are you gonna do?
Nothing.
It's what
Well,
it
not
is.
nothing, but let's see. I wish a lot of people could be more like opening and accepting of everybody. Then everybody would be just in such a happy place
Well,
because
try to put some, would you say, positive into this. Well, I think a lot of people are, and I think with, as we talk about social media and the internet having all these bad uh, effects or whatever, but I think a lot of it has helped people see and understand each other. It's like right nowadays you can't just have the press or the government trying to demonize the other side. It's like because you can see the other side, you might be friends with the other side,
mm-hmm,
and you understand people from all around the world, and I think that helps people. As big of a problem racism is in America, but I would argue that America is one of the least racist people nations because we have so much diversity. It's like
yeah,
you go to Asia, if you're black or whatever, it's like an alien to them. And same thing with white people, but and it's very racist. And I know these things, right? Because I've seen a lot of it, and I know most of it because whatever my background, let's say. So it's like it is. I think it's just like it's very hard to deal with the fact that life's a tragedy and the world is a terrible place. It's very hard to
mm-hmm.
just accept that.
Big boy pill to swallow. Big boy pills.
Yeah, but I don't know. Try to change it to maybe a more lighter topics. Get depressed.
Oh
It's
no,
what it
not
is. Every time I start screwing, it's just like it's so difficult to freaking, you know.
yeah. Because whenever I talk about religion, it kind of makes me a little upset because I'm not like. Of course, I'm like a part of the Christian faith. I always have been, but I've kind of like changed it. So what? Like, it's more of a progressive side. And whenever I tell people like, "Hey, like the Bible is so kind of
I,
whack in so many ways," they get upset, and it's like, I'm not wrong.
I think it's something like people make that into themselves. It's like maybe you like a show, and then some
Hmm.
people says, well, this show isn't that great because of these reasons, and you don't necessarily agree with those points. You naturally become defensive, right? Because
Yeah.
not only is it just a show, it's sort of essentially a part of yourself. It's who you are. It defines you as a person or a band or something. And I suppose religion is like the most vital form of that, right? Because it's sort of like everything, you know.
Hmm.
So people would naturally become defensive with that, and what? And it is some of the what I would tell say is that people say, well, religion is bad because bad people, and you're looking at the outliers and the extreme, maybe the terrorists, maybe the KKK, whoever, right?
Hmm.
However, I would argue, well, that's like the worst outcome, but there's a lot more bad outcomes that you're not seeing that I'm able to see because I'm interested in it.
Hmm.
Right. It's like, well, growing up, maybe suppressing your sexuality, maybe accepting certain terrible social norms. Maybe maybe it's that, well, that 30% of the Catholic Church are, you know, committing horrible acts, you know,
Yes.
but you're just sort of let it slide, or sadistic nuns, or the pedophile marriages of the Middle East. You know, it just you can see the terrorist, that that's bad or whatever. Yeah, we can all agree with that, but that's not the only issue. There's a lot more issues that you're sort of not paying attention to. You know, so I would say, to sort of get off this religion point, I would say that religion is possibly the only thing that can get good people to do bad things. You know,
Hmm.
which is some similar to what a cult does, right? It can take, and obviously I understand that some good people are just never going to act corrupt in a bad way, but sometimes you don't even realize when you're doing something bad because it's so ingrained. It's like how people back in the day would defend segregation, for say, or something like that, right? Because
Hmm.
it's normality, like we said, and it's a part of life itself, so you can't really see the damage of it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of this dude. Like, I watched this news story, and this guy was like, "Hey, my dad was like a KKK member," and he was like, he didn't really realize like how bad the things were that his dad had taught him about like not liking black people and stuff like that until he got older and he realized, wow, like all these bad things he saying the word, the hard R,
Mm-hmm.
um, like doing these really like saying these really bad things towards black people and stuff and blah blah blah, and like he did it so often that he just thought, oh, it's just completely fine, it's just completely normal, just is how life is, until he gets older and he's like, oh, wow, because he has like said it in class or something, and the
Mm-hmm.
teacher's like, uh, uh, what? So, I guess it's kind of like that.
Well, I think with the thing with prejudice or bigotry. I always go back. My point of that would be I go back to a quote from Mark Twain, where I'm paraphrasing here, but
Mm-hmm.
he basically says the cure to bigotry is travel. And what he means by that, if you grow up with white people, if you grow up with black people, you're not most likely, most people wouldn't be racist to black people or white people or Asian people or Hispanic people. And
Mm-hmm.
you kind of see that because, well, we go to a school together. I'm brown, you're black. There's white people mostly, but most people are just not racist. So it just, some of these problems are just like eternal problems. They're never gonna get solved, but that doesn't mean we should just give up on them.
Yeah. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm uh I'm embroidering Ray into my jacket.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know who Ray is?
He's into the gun person. Is
On
that the
N
one?
on NGE.
Oh wait, I don't know this one.
What is it? Oh my gosh, I just forgot. Neon Genesis. It's a really old anime.
I know Neon Genesis, but I don't know the person.
It's like the blue haired girl.
Oh, that person.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
epic.
I am almost done. It's taken me two
What?
days.
When is part 6 supposed to come out? Isn't
I
it?
I have no idea.
So I watched part 5, and then I tried to read part 6. I've only read like one chapter when like the person goes to Florida or something. I was like, dude, I could not read it. There was too many words and things. There's too much going on in each page. I was like, oh my gosh.
Too many words, bro. What?
Bro, like seriously, there's like so many bubbles I can barely read. My attention span is like a dead squirrel.
Oh, bro.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for the anime.
Oh yeah, I forgot you can't spell. Poor child.
Dude, it's so hard to read. Like I desperately want to read because I'm trying to because I want to write and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so difficult. I would like read one page and I want to kill myself. It's so bad.
Me reading the books the school wants us to read.
You need to like. I wish I could put like a chip in my brain or something. Just start reading.
Audiobook, AirPod. Pick
That's what
one.
I do. I usually listen to them.
But then you don't remember a single thing.
I remember like very like the real important parts, and I'll like listen to them over and over again just to ram it in.
That's what I be doing. Like a certain part, I'll just listen to it over and over and over again, so I can have like the specific information. But other than that, nah.
That's what I'm saying. I really do. I don't know, like, cause you can't really like it's the best way to get better at reading is just to do it more. But the experience is so bad that I just don't want to do it.
Bro, I'd rather write than have to read. I don't know why, how in the world that's even possible, but writing is just way better than reading. And I think,
I could write in the sense that I can have thoughts, but I don't actually want to like type or anything. I just want like someone to like record me talk about random crap.
like now,
What is basically like writing. It's just like it's what it is.
write the whole book about why religion is bad.
Dude would get assassinated within 2 days.
Bruh, eliminate this. I know we don't usually burn books, but this is an
start,
abomination.
start putting it on fire.
the
be like, be like,
whole
send it to the Pope.
the whole publishing place. It reminds me of when Lil Nas made those
Oh yeah.
satanic shoes, and then they just start coming for Nike. Nike's like, whoa, 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 we ain't got nothing to do with this, bro.
We don't know about this Satan boy.
I don't understand what was so problematic about the shoes though. Like I just don't understand.
Well, my man was going a little crazy. He put blood in it. He was,
Bruh, I have a feeling it
bro,
wasn't
man
even
is a
real.
Luciferian. Now, I will say it wasn't the. I'm not a Satanist. I don't think you really understand what Satanism is,
I
but I
do.
understand it was artistic in what he was trying to do. The ACDC and people like that have been doing it for a long time, but I think the video and how blatant it was I think that really got into people's heads.
Bruh, I don't understand what was so wrong with the video. Like I just like I watched the video, I was like, oh okay. And
I,
I just
I don't I don't have a problem with it, but let me defend Christians. After all, I said that. I would say it's somewhat like what the devil represents. The devil represents. He's the king of
yeah.
evil. He's the prince of evil, right? So what that means is like you're supporting these
Oh,
horrible things, right?
hold on. Hold on.
Yes. I'll start screaming about something. The CIA, MK Ultra. Uh, uh, Let me see this.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. She started coming in and yelling at my cat.
Yes,
Bruh. But you
bro. I
were
always wanted a cat, but it's too lazy to.
you what?
I always wanted a cat, but I was like, oh gosh, there's a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it is because I know you hear her like she keeps every time like I start talking about something, she'll come over here and she'll start meowing. Like what? Who are you talking to?
What? If, what? If, what if we started talking about the KKK and your cat started screaming?
She really did that though. She came over here and was like, ah! I was
She
like,
comes.
what?
Your cat comes out as a Black Panther. Let's go.
Oh no! Oh my
Yes.
goodness. You were defending Christians about Lil Nas X. I was very intrigued.
Because I really do understand that most people don't understand why people got mad, but I would say it's sort of like this is a bad example, but I think you can understand. It's sort of like what he did was that it wasn't too bad or anything, but when he's celebrating Satan, that represents to say Christians or maybe fundamental Christians is that the Lord of Evil. So it's sort of like celebrating like an evil, like it'd be like celebrating Joseph Stalin. You'd be like, what are you doing here? Okay, it's not the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's would I say he shouldn't have done that? Of course not. It's his life. If he wants to do it, whatever. But I would, at the same time, do understand why some people were angry about that, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, well, I maybe you and I could argue, well, or maybe I could argue that, well, your cross makes me uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your Bible makes you uncomfortable because, well, the Crusades, a lot of the things in it, it's not the greatest of things, So it's like, so then it's like, well, fair enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once
Bro.
again, we screamed at each other and accomplished nothing. Well done. I'm telling you, I really do. Pessimism is where it's at.
Yes. Pessimism. Oh my gosh, I love being pessimistic about everything. It's like, hey, life is amazing. No, it's not. Shut up.
Listen, it's like if you can find one philosopher who was like, who had a happy life or was like, yo, life is great, I will give you $10 right now. I swear to dude, I have never found one philosopher like that.
Me either. They're all like,
Yeah, yeah,
life.
no,
No, never.
no.
Good life. Nah.
My favorite is probably Arthur Schopenhauer. I don't know if you know him, but he wrote a whole book that said that was like defending or like he like made pessimism. He wrote a book. It was like the in defense of pessimism or something. He was like, bruh.
It was like, life is bad, death is inevitable. Goodbye.
I think this is probably like the quote that really fucked me up because it I really do agree with it. I don't know who said it, but it's basically like everyone has a good reason for suicide,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or everyone has sufficient reason for suicide. I was like, bro, oh my god, because I was like, yeah, that is making more sense every day.
Oh Lord, not high rise invasion, dear Lord.
So please,
Oh God, bro, I watched
yes.
the one episode of that, and it messed me up. It reminds me of literally what you just said.
It really is true. It's like, yeah, everyone has a good reason for suicide. Listen, the better question would be finding a reason to keep on living.
That literally is what the whole anime is about: giving people reason to just KMS. Whether it means just beating them in the head until they just say, "You know what? Fine, I'm a jump," or
Listen, listen. It's what it is.
"I can't, bro. It scarred me." How many heads I saw busted in the first
Oh
episode?
god, this is a problem.
It is a problem, but it's a juicy anime, so it is going on the jacket.
Okay, so since we're on this topic, let me bring about this. Will be on your opinion on this. Is that most would say first world countries or sophisticated countries like America, Japan, Europe, whatever, right? China. Well, maybe not China because communist dictatorship, but
Hmm.
has a very big, you know, high suicides. People are extremely depressed. They have anxiety, etc. Right? I think Japan has the highest suicide rate, especially in women, uh, in the planet. However, you look at these third world countries, a lot of these people were very happy, and the happiest countries, let's say, are from these people who are incredibly impoverished in terrible living conditions by our standards, right?
Hmm.
And they are very much happy. And this isn't like a facade or anything. They really are, you
Yeah,
know.
I know.
So what would you say? Like, what would be your thoughts on that?
Well, it kind of goes back to what you said earlier about how um you were like basically a lot of these other countries like non first world countries, they don't really have the access to really know what's going on in the world around them, so they aren't really exposed to things that would cause them to be like, hey, life is not what it looks like, so they just continue to be happy. Versus people who have access to that information, they're like, whoa, life is really really fucked up. And
Hmm.
it kind of just, I think that adds on to why was some of these suicide rates and depression rates and anxiety and stuff is so high, because of the amount of knowledge that we have on situations that would cause us to get like that versus the people who don't.
I think you just communicated what's in my mind and my heart. I mean, that's essentially my exact views on that. I think that's really what it is. But I would say, in a lot of, it's like everybody became an intellectual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And a lot of people are romantics, which is not like a love thing. It's more of like you're you you're like, what would you say, emotional, or you think with your heart or something like that. That's me right
Yes.
there. That's definition of myself. Uh, and then the other part is like overly logical people. I can't stand these people because I'm a romantic. What would you say? And sort of like the opposite of that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think when you when you realize all these horrible things are happening and you care about it, important thing, you care. It's very hard to. It's very hard to. And also, it's like you're essentially like you're like kind of powerless. You really can't do anything about it. That's why, maybe that's why people will start screaming in Twitter or something just to do anything to help. Maybe it doesn't help, but you got to do something, right?
Yes.
And when you have understandings of all these concepts of, let's say, maybe happiness or meaning or, whatever, health, mental health, whatever, right? When you understand these things, I think that sort of opens a doorway, like you said, that it makes you nihilistic, let's say. But the problem is, I don't necessarily know how to solve that, or like what to really do about it, right?
Mhm.
Because I mean, you look at you and I mean, we sort of exist in this horror show. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't even know about it. A lot of people can somehow accept it, let's say. But
Mhm.
it's very hard to. And we don't have tragic backstories. We don't have people who are in abusive situations, in mental, uh, coping with trauma, or the horrors of existence, let's say.
Bruh, I wouldn't say that, but I
I
would.
mean, personally, I do have some of it, but don't want to talk about it. But uh, and I'm sure you probably do. But let's just ignore it. Let's just say we're perfect people.
Yeah, no
But
trauma here. It's
listen,
not.
listen, listen to me. I have never listen.
No,
Well,
this is not therapy.
this dude, I go to therapy. I make the therapist depressed. Listen. I really do need to probably go to therapy. God's sake. So, and I don't really know what to do about it, because it's like you need to give. It's like the sad thing is, you tell most people that 40% of the labor force is going to lose their livelihoods in 10 years. They'll be like, well, who cares? I'm like, what? What the?
It's like,
What am I
oh
supposed
well.
to say?
Be like, they'll be replaced by the next day. Oh, bruh, you don't. What? It's like how people don't take Rona seriously, and like so many people have lost their lives to it. It's like, okay, so the amount of people who are not here today, like you don't think that that's a problem, that this many people lost their lives to something that kind of could have been prevented. Like, I mean, you sound like a butthole to me, dude.
People, people, people don't care about anything. This is really what it is. People are deeply selfish. They don't care until it's about them. It's really
Yes.
what it is. And the problem is, most people are like that. So it's like, well, damn. Guess I'll just fuck myself.
Uh,
So what am I supposed to? What do you even do? It's like, I don't even know what to say. It's like, do I get angry at these people? Do I be like, what is wrong with you? It's like, that's not going to do anything.
yes, because people are just gonna ignore you. They're just gonna be like, you know what? I don't care what you got to say. I know that I'm right. Shut up. I'm a dip.
You summed it up right there.
Exactly.
I mean, that's like politics right there.
Unfortunately, that's just how politics are. I guess. Well, not even just politics. Virtually anything is
I
like
mean, it's
that.
just human beings in general. I'm so anti-human, but I'm also extremely proud of human beings. It's very odd. I swear, I'm like borderline schizophrenic. I start
You
arguing with myself.
you completely lost faith in humanity. Yet you still have faith.
I'm very much, I'm so proud of mankind also, because it's like, yes, all of that horrible things is true, but there's always like the opposite, which is the amazing people, the
Hmm.
selfless. And
Sir, I'm gonna need you to pick a side. There is no good part of humanity.
hey, so I wanted to bring this point onto you. So me and Rico, a couple weeks ago, we talked about this line from Vinland Saga. I don't know
Hmm.
if you've seen it. but it's
No.
essentially like it's called love is discrimination,
Oh,
right?
right.
So I talked about this for a long time, so I would like to get your opinion on this.
But I think you brought this up, and I was so confused. Like I literally lost all my brain cells when you asked
Yes,
me this.
yes.
Um, let's see. I don't know. Like, uh, uh, I'm trying to think like how. Like I
Um,
understand, but then I don't know how to put it into words.
so. What I was arguing, I was like, I do agree with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what love, let's say, is, it is discrimination in the sense that, let's say, if you love someone, you're discriminating against the world for that person or besides that person, you
Oh,
know,
oh,
or which can get definitely out of hand, right? Because it's like maybe the person who maybe you're doing something out of your love for another person, but the person who you're doing it for doesn't agree with you because the things you're doing are clearly wrong, right?
yandere.
You, yeah, a lot of those people exist, unfortunately.
Are you? Uh,
Yeah,
oh Lord. But yes,
was
continue. I apologize.
so so. Let me give you an example. Maybe this will make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. So, let's say we're outside, whatever, right? And we're friends. We're best friends, and so we're playing. I don't know. We're playing basketball or something, and so you and the basketball goes into the parking lot, and you uh, go and get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you're getting the basketball, a car comes behind you and you're not, paying attention, and I see it and I run and I push you out the way and I get killed, because I love you or something, right? So I would say that love is discriminating because, let's say, if that person wasn't you, if that person was just a random person, or if that person was like an evil person, I wouldn't run up there and push them out the way to save their life, right?
Oh.
So in that sense, love is something like this innate value that you don't necessarily have control of,
Mm-hmm.
and you are discriminating in the sense that you're prejudiced for that person, but you're prejudiced against everybody else, right? So it's like,
Yeah. Okay.
I suppose that's really what it is, I was like, that really does make sense because it's like people will say doesn't matter what the world thinks, or you could sacrifice the world for you or something, right?
Yes.
Or you screw over the world for your mom, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that one really hit me because I was like, damn.
Okay, I understand now. Like how like a person will do anything for like a person that they care about, but they won't do it for just anyone. It has to be
Mm-hmm.
someone that they care about. So that excludes everybody who they do not care about. So
And
let's say
also, that love can become like it can consume you, right? It's like all you think about, and it becomes this massive. So like that person, whoever you love, can never be wrong in a sense, right? That person is always correct, no
yes.
matter what, and you'll defend them no matter what. So it can become very intoxicating in a sense, and you know,
Like Thanos?
well, most people don't even know that's why he did it, and they changed it,
That's
made it
like the
better.
first thing I can think of.
Yeah, and you see that in real life all the time, don't you? And it doesn't even have to be a person; it could be an idea. You know, could be a group of people, could be ideology.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
ooh, interesting. Ku Klux. Oh no 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 no.
Oh,
No.
oh, spicy, spicy, spicy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh,
You
um.
know, bro, you can literally just anything that comes to mind. I will start. You know, what I mean, I've said Hillary Clinton should be publicly executed. It's just
Wait, you said what?
I, one time, one time I was like, Donald Trump should get beat up by a gang of lesbians or something, and then I was like, Hillary Clinton and Elizabeth Warren should be publicly executed for crimes against humanity. I was like,
Oh,
Bill Clinton should have a military tribunal.
oh my gosh.
Do you
So,
understand why? I swear,
oh,
if it's just me, I would literally start screaming about anything and everything. So I need somebody else to reel it back.
in class.
Listen, listen. Some of those rants are so valued because most people don't care. Most people be like, "Oh, who cares? Kids are in prisons. Well, it doesn't affect me." I was like, "God,
Right.
God help us."
What did you ask? Oh gosh. Oh goodness. Well, who was it? You asked. Did you think basketball was an all black sport?
listen, listen, listen. You got 200 years of slavery. You got to give me something. Listen, what? No, no. This. I thought of this. I was like, what if once per year descendants of indentured servants like Irish and Italian people get German people as slaves for just one day. Is this a bad idea? I don't
I
I
don't
don't
think
see
so.
the issue. What if what if descendants of Native Americans for one day gets uh Portuguese people or Spanish people as slaves under the communist system for one day or a week? Is
Ooh.
that what if for Spanish History Month we just do that instead of mariachi bands? I don't have I said something wrong.
No,
I don't
not
I
really.
don't see it. I don't see an issue here. I don't. Is this
Are you telling me that Black History Month there will literally be a day where there's reverse slavery?
why? I don't see the problem. What is this?
Bruh.
What if, what if, what if I start advocating for that? People people
No,
are
not
like,
the
let's
black,
let's tear down the Robert E. Lee statue. I'm like, can we bring back slavery, please? Is
not the,
this
not
just
the
for a day?
minority supremacy.
I'll start. I'll start campaigning outside of churches. I'd be like, hello, please come to my meeting. I'm trying to start a movement.
Oh gosh,
Do you
no,
know I would have so many? I ever since I was 7, I wanted to be a cult leader. I really did. I was like, I'd be so good at it. I'd be like, listen, listen. You have to give me your life savings because, listen, I'm trying to help you. Okay, having all that money is gonna stress you out. I'm trying to help you. This is what people don't understand. When I say when this is a scam, this is not a scam.
bruh.
Okay.
SM. This is
Yes.
this is like the same thing that that one cult leader said, and he had like how many people? Like 1,000 people following him, and they all decided, you know what, killing yourself is good. So they
Oh,
literally all ate pudding,
oh
put
my God!
formaldehyde
Listen,
in it, and
listen,
went to
listen.
sleep.
Yeah, it was terrible. I watched the YouTube video on it. I was like, oh my God! It's like hundreds of people. I mean, it's tragic.
Not Nevixium or whatever that is. The one with the pudding incident, where it
Oh,
was like
I thought you were talking about like the cyanide pill and like the Kool Aid.
it might have been that too, but the last time I checked, it was like everybody ate pudding, went from formaldehyde, and they all went to sleep, and they all threw up, and yeah.
Damn, bro. Dude, some of these cults I've heard about, I mean, the details of it is so terrible. Oh my, like my God.
like, how do you even come up with this stuff, man?
I mean, people will say, I was like, good and evil, right? I was like, I don't know about good, but let me tell you, evil exists. You know what I mean? Like, evil exists.
Yes, and unfortunately, a lot of good people they have evil in them.
And I think another problem is a lot of good people, like genuinely good people, just don't understand or want to admit just how fucked everything is.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I mean, I do understand that it is better that way, because then you won't lose your mind, like most people, like people like us do. It's really what it is like. It'd be so much better if I would have my IQ was like 47.
Uh, uh, Wait, hold up.
Wait, then I'd probably be in an asylum. Okay,
Um,
I probably couldn't compute. Okay, maybe like 90.
why?
We'll put 90.
Why such a specific number?
What? What are you making fun of me right now? What I'm incredibly intelligent. This is what people don't understand. I'm insanely smart. Yes.
Yes, you are incredibly smart, but I feel, dear Lord, some of the things that you said.
I no, I used to be like, listen, I know what's going on. I know about MK Ultra. You think you're better than me? We used to prank call people. I'd try to call. One time I tried to call the FBI. I was like, hey, listen, bitch. You think you're better than me? I know what's going on. I know about Abu Ghraib.
Oh my gosh.
What if we prank called the CIA? We were like, hey, listen, why'd you kill Kennedy, you bitch?
You really think that they killed Kennedy? Not
But dude, you know 100% they killed Kennedy. There's no way. 100%. So
a lot of
is
these.
there like any conspiracies that you believe in or that fascinates you?
Oh gosh, me and my mom got into this about the whole Illuminati thing.
Oh my gosh.
Like
That one
how
is so complicated that I don't even, bother.
it is really, really complicated. How like people literally will ask A, yo, I don't care about this person whatsoever. Go ahead, sacrifice them so that way I can stay safe. And it's like, yo, what? Wait, you're willing to just
I mean,
make this
like
person suffer?
it came from the French Revolution, didn't it? I believe so.
I forgot which one it came from. The Secret Society. I remember learning about
It
it.
was either German or French, I believe.
Can't remember, but it arose in like the United States with like the whole secret society thing.
Yeah, like the Bohemian Grove and Skull and Bones, those things like that from the Yale and everything.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of that one conspiracy that's like really. Wait, no, that's
Oh
going
my
back
God,
to
you're a
religion.
flat earther. What, what if what if you just came out as like the Earth is flat?
No, heck no, bro. Like I really sat here for a long time and really sat here and told myself, yeah, I don't believe in planets. I think they're lying. Listen,
I mean, you begin to see why people go into religion because people just need something to believe in.
bro, I really sat here and said, yeah, that planet right there, yeah, that's not real. Shut up.
Bro, man, look, man. You see that moon? That's cheese, man. What are you
No,
talking about?
no, I believe the moon is real. It's just that there's
No,
so many different things
I'm
they've
joking.
lied
I'm
to us about.
joking.
Huh?
I'm joking.
Oh, I know, but it's the other planets. Nah, screw them. I didn't think they were real.
Why'd you think that?
Like, the government makes me not believe
Wait,
them.
how old were you? It was just like I was 4 years old.
Bro,
What's
this
that?
was like
What
two
was
years
going
ago.
on?
This was like a year or two ago. It wasn't that long.
Wait, you like Jupiter is just like Malteser?
Bruh, I really sat here and was like, yo, I really just don't think the planet. No, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't the planets. It was dinosaurs.
Oh, you didn't believe in dinosaurs?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
I just don't understand how you're gonna sit here and tell me that like the Earth has been here for this long, and yet we're just now starting to like destroy it. And like, nah, come on, seriously.
So you're like, why didn't the dinosaur destroy the Earth? Right?
That and like how in the world you're gonna sit here and tell me that it like we advanced, got technologically advanced super quickly, but Earth has been here for this long, but humans have not been here for that long. That just makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm. So like, I'm trying to understand. So like so maybe like you're thinking the climate change or whatever, the government is sort of overhyping it to scare us into accepting certain, what would you say, regulations maybe, or trying to forget about our rights being taken away maybe.
Kind of like I just think that like I don't think that climate change happened extremely quickly. Like, yes, it's accelerating now, but I just don't think that it happened like, oh, within like the course of like 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just destroying everything. No, I just think that it's been going on for way longer than that, and just now they're just trying to get our attention on it. So yeah, kind of what you
I
just said.
think that I do agree with that, and also I think what it is that most people, the number one thing about the climate is the sun, and it's one thing that's natural for the earth to cool and get hot and etc. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's inevitable, but I understand that certain people say, well, we have to move away from coal and whatever because it's toxic, which I understand, but it's like, what else? What else are you gonna do? There's like we don't really have any other options. So it's like, well,
Mm,
you can impoverish people, but it's just
I mean, we have other methods of energy and stuff. It's just that,
I mean,
like,
is
the
this
coal and
is it what would you say, reliable or sufficient for 9 billion people?
I mean, it could be if we really invested time into it. It's just that, like, the coal and, like, what is it, fossil fuel industry is so large that if we just cut it out all of a sudden, it will put so many people out of money and stuff. But then again, if we did switch to something better, it will be better for everybody and maybe more cost efficient and stuff like that if we really took the time to actually sit there and invest into it. But instead, people are like, nah, we really don't care. I want my money from digging in this hole in the ground for this black stuff. So
Hmm. And the toxic waste of that. I mean, people mining businessmen have poisoned entire villages of people.
exactly.
So I mean, I do understand climate change. I'm not like denying climate change. Don't get this twisted. It's just like I think a lot of it is like, you know, number one, I understand a lot of people are trying to do something about it, but we've done so much damage, like dumping just trash into the ocean. I mean, like an absurd amount of trash. There's like, what are you gonna do about that?
Nothing.
It, and it's like, I don't necessarily know, and obviously, I'm a high school student. I don't fucking know what's going on, but it's like, yeah, I mean, maybe they do. Maybe we don't know the whole truths, and maybe it's like, I think there's more to it than just like people bad.
Yeah. Or either, let's see, what was the other conspiracy theory that was really interesting? It does trace back to religion, unfortunately, but um, it was like, oh man, it was really hard to explain. I forgot who I explained it to. I think I explained it to my brother, but it was like, uh, you know what? I'm just gonna explain it. So basically, people, like we said earlier, are attached to the idea of religion, and it basically gives them a purpose in life. And we are afraid, like, well, not everybody, but most people are afraid of the idea of dying. And it's like the idea of how our attachment to this physical world is basically irrelevant, and that there's another world, like, as a kind of like a reflection, like, this is not like the true world. And oh god, I can't even really explain it. I wish I could explain it, but I really
So
can't.
like interdimensional type of thing.
Yes, like, it's like,
Does that go into like like DMT or like the elves or like the ayahuasca maybe?
what is any of that you just said? I don't.
Oh yeah, it's like DMT and ayahuasca are like Native Americans and a lot of it's like LSD, right? It's like the strongest forms, but it's natural, and when you do them, you see like these. What would you say? You have these religious experiences where you see. Well, it's called elves, but it's very complicated to explain.
Oh, oh, like mugwort.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yes, mugwort. Ah, love it. I'm just kidding.
Yes, I do psilocybin.
um, it's like how, like, with mugwort, if you drink it before you sleep, you can literally control your freaking dreams, and like you have like
I
the
swear I don't even have
coolest.
dreams anymore. I wish I had like lucid dreams. It's so nice.
Bro, what in the world is a dream? I haven't had that since I was like 8 years old, man.
I swear, I used to be terrified. Every time I tried to go to sleep when I was like 7, I thought I was going to hell.
What
I was,
the?
I was horrified. Like I had the imagery I saw, like it was terrible. And that's another. Look, can we please ban religion? I'm terrified of going to hell.
I think everybody really is, but I just don't under. This is another reason why I kind of like am like progressive Christian, is because I just don't understand how in the world me be gay is bad, but you got people out here literally like
People be like,
assaulting children and like killing things, and
freaking
well, like, I mean, mass
the Pope
genocide.
is a sexual molester, and then it's like me being gay is the sin. It
I
makes
just
sense.
I just don't understand me like women. That's
Uh-huh.
bad. What? What? Are you joking right now?
I feel like I feel like that'd be like life really is a sick joke. And then I heard like it said, and God's a bitch. You know what I mean? I was like, bruh.
Bro, there's another conspiracy theory where it's like God is like the God, like the Christian God, is not the real one. There's another one as being trapped or something, and that one, like, the reason why we see like in the Bible, like how it's like, oh, destroy, destroy, destroy everything, and like the Old Testament and stuff, and then like he changes and he becomes like good or something, but that one's like the real one or something. It's so
The
weird, and it's
malevolent
like
one, like
it,
the Old Testament. You just like everything's sin.
yes, and it's just like and then there's this other part where it's like the devil is the good guy because he's more accepting of everybody. And I was just like, whoa, this is, you see, this is where I start questioning things, and it makes me scared, I guess. And I guess it's because, like, growing up, you don't really ever question anything like that. It's all you ever know, and things that you're taught by like your
I mean
parents and stuff. That's all you
that's the
believe.
biggest problem with Islam, right? Because it's that like times 100.
Like, you question stuff. Oh, that's bad. You get outcast.
Well, yeah, I wish it was outcast. It means you get executed,
Yeah, I know. Literally stone in the head.
and like you're gonna come out. Good job, man. Throw you off of a building. I mean, this is horrible things to laugh about, but it's like, what do you want us to do, man? At
Uh,
least we care. Most
you
people don't even care.
you like women, bruh.
What are you, a straight white male in 2021? Are you serious right now?
I feel bad for straight people. I I
Listen. I am a heterosexual black woman. You understand? One thing that does bother me is like when people are, bi or gay or something, and their whole personality is that them being gay. It's like, come on, come up, please make yourself interesting. What are you
But
doing?
I have to agree with you. It kind of sucks. It's like, oh,
I
I
think
do.
I think it works with some people because they just naturally have this bubbly personality. There's some
Mm-hmm.
people I'm just like, you are like the most interesting person I've ever met.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, it's really true. It's like some of these people. It's like having a conversation with them would be like terrible. You're like,
Dumpster
oh my
fire.
god. Not just gay people, but just like most people in general are just they're so like one dimensional. They're side characters. They're side characters. Is what it is.
Um, Come on, you can't disagree with me on this. You cannot disagree. You know this is true.
It doesn't
most
matter
people.
what they do; they're irrelevant anyway.
mo-
Nobody will remember their name.
Most people are not human beings. You just need to step over them. That's the only way you're gonna be successful.
Oh my gosh! I have
Is that,
never heard anybody compare people like belittle people in the best way possible.
listen, these sheep. You have to be a Ubermensch.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
that was beautiful.
Listen. Yes.
Bruh. Everybody is just side characters. I don't care what you gotta say about it. You are a side character. You're not the main character.
What? What? You're like midway having a conversation, and then you're just like, "Excuse me, side. What are you saying?" just cut them off. I mean, that's the level of bullying. It's just like, it's just like, I'm sorry. Who are you again?
Or
Oh,
either you're talking to someone. Wait, no, no, no. Oh, you lit. Okay, now I'm. Okay, I really am stupid. I really was about to repeat what you said, but with different words.
hey, don't stress. That's
Don't.
basically
What? Don't. How?
that's my perpetual existence. That'd be
Bruh.
like telling people not to breathe.
Uh, be like, don't stress about that. You'll be fine.
I
Internal pain
swear,
the whole
I
time.
swear, this is true. Well, I used to like. I remember when I was a kid, uh, pretty young. I'd say like 9 maybe. I used to tell my grandma, "Hey, don't stress about anything, right? Because she has a bunch of kids, and obviously she has a billion things to stress about."
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be like, every time I talked to her, it'd be like, "Hey, grandma, don't stress. Everything's been gonna be okay." Then I like got like, then I was like 15. I was like, "Oh God, don't stress. This is like the worst advice. There is no way. Oh God."
It's like telling a depressed person to stop being depressed.
be like, be like, what if you just go up to a person with like leukemia? I'd be like, "What? Don't vibe check cancer right now. What are you doing?"
Oh my gosh.
And this is why I'm going to hell. This is not what is
No.
what
You are a good person.
what.
I don't think so.
Listen, I'm just saying. I feel like I could beat up the devil. I could you imagine
S
like me and like a billion other crackheads running at the
SM.
devil?
It might
Like,
turn out the other way. So
what if
I
what
like you
what
might
if
it might be stripper pole time. So
I
I
will
would
I will be a gigolo right now? Is this
please no.
I what if, what if, I'm just saying I really do I really do think that we should legalize prostitution. I feel like it
Oh
will
no.
look listen I do have good arguments for it. It would drastically lower sexual abuse, human trafficking, sex trafficking, especially with lower, what would you say, impoverished group of people. And it's such a big problem if you have the government and officials and security. It would end a lot of sexual assaults. It would like I don't see. I understand maybe there's a moral issue I understand that, and if I've had a daughter or a son, I wouldn't let them do that. But I don't see. I feel like the amount of good it would do, like lowering a certain amount of abuse or whatever. I feel like it isn't the craziest thing, right? Maybe you don't agree, but I just feel like
I mean, you have a really, really valid point, and I understand, and I agree with you.
it's what it is. People, I'm very good at arguing. It's really what it is because there's two ways I argue. There's one way where I'm like being somewhat reasonable and I'll have decent arguments. The other way where I'm being completely retarded. And it's hard to win an argument with a smart person, but it's impossible to win it with a slow person. This is
Oh,
I'll be like one if it's like if I can't win the argument with intellect, I just make like an absurd claim and then just run with it.
mm-hmm.
This is what it, so like if someone says, "What if let's take down the racist statues?" I'd be like, let's bomb America. Is this what if they'd be like, we should care about slave labor in China? I was like, let's start an invasion. Is this why I don't see? Is this an issue? What if people were like, well, black people were like suffering from discrimination? I'm like, what if we just genocide the human race? Is this? I mean, are you getting nervous? What are you scared that the FBI is going to get you? Listen, I would like to listen. This is for entertainment. This is not. You understand? Listen to me, CIA.
Mm,
I support. I support torture prisons.
they're gonna find.
Listen,
Listen,
what?
stop calling out the FBI. They're gonna find my Python stuff, bruh.
Oh gosh.
They're gonna be like, bruh, she is coding a whole virus.
They're like, you're working for the Russians. You don't think I know what's going
Bro, I love the Russian language and the Russian music that I listen to. That stuff where they're literally roasting the Russian government. Yeah, that. But their government is so much worse
I
than
mean, this
ours.
is what it is. China. You look at China; it has probably, apart from India, the most amount of culture in the entire planet because it's so old. But then Mao came in, and then the communist dictatorships. It's just like, gosh, I wish he could be like a democracy and things, because it'd be great.
Like, dear Lord, y'all really out here wilding, aren't you?
I mean, people walk around. This is so tragic. People walk around calling themselves Maoists. I was like, this person contributed for to the deaths of 70 million people. And it's like, what is going on?
How are they still alive? How did he not die?
I mean, it's just, gosh. I mean, you look at Shiriishi or Mengali. I don't know if you know them.
It might
My
ring a bell after you
opinion,
start.
the worst people in human history, and they, I mean, they lived a life after Nazi Germany and the Imperial Japanese. Like they died peacefully. I mean, that is, I don't even like. It's what do you even? Gosh, you know.
I you
Once again, we accomplished nothing except making everybody depressed.
I mean, we were talking about anime for a split 23
You want to go
seconds.
back to? I don't even know what anime do you want. I don't even know.
I I really love action packed anime. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice to just sit there with like a nice little calming anime.
Here's the thing. Like my second favorite anime is Clannad. I don't know if you know this. It's a
Mm-hmm.
slice of life. I think it's a masterpiece.
Yes.
But I just don't like slice of life. It seems so boring to me. So it's like, and I know there's some good ones like Yuri Life or something. There's a lot of good ones, but I have like the attention span of a squirrel. So it's just like, what is something gonna happen? And I know a lot of it is good, but I don't know how to. I only watch like either seinens or like deep stuff or action boys. It's just like, oh gosh.
I
Hey, have you read the Attack on Titan manga?
no, I have not. It got
Oh,
kind of like spoiled for me because like brother watches it and
uh huh.
like I'll just pop in and like he'll be watching some really juicy scene. And obviously, me with my nosy ass literally will stay in there and watch it, knowing good and well I have not seen a piece of the anime because I want to see what the hell's going on. So,
Yeah, girl, I was gonna talk about the ending of the manga because I've read the whole thing, but it was like, never mind.
poor child. I don't even really know. Like, I just like.
Because it's like a controversial. It's like people were like expecting more. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm,
What would you say is your favorite ending in everything you've seen?
oh Lord.
I'll
Uh,
tell you mine. Mine is Code Geass.
I haven't even finished Code, bro. I will
Oh
literally get
my
in the
god, I'm
middle.
so disappointed in you. Why haven't you seen these masterpieces?
I haven't finished it. Calm down.
Listen,
Jordan finished it without me,
I
man.
you have to finish. What?
Like,
No,
I
it's
think
fine.
I think there's only like one anime I finished, and that was Agretsuko.
This is a problem.
It's not even an anime.
What if you're like? What if you're like? The only I've only seen one anime and it's Doraemon. I was like, bro.
Oh,
Oh god.
it's like a person who's like, "Oh yeah, my favorite anime is Naruto." Okay, well, what other animes do you watch? Naruto.
It'd be like, yes, yes, I have seen blonde haired boy wants to be pirate king. Yes.
Sinbad? I mean, Maggie?
Ah, oh my god, is this the Disney movie about the brown boy? Yes.
um,
Carpet?
it's just it kind of sucks because like my mom, she likes like the nice calming anime. Then my dad, he likes that delicious like spicy like juicy action packed filled anime.
Yeah, cause I
And
was
I'm a
gonna like
mix.
I've been at this state like I've seen most of all of shonen and like the
Mm-hmm.
classics. Would you say and like the most of the action shit? So I'm like, I don't like I've seen everything. I don't know what to watch because I don't like isekai and I'm not into like ecchi and
What
so
is that?
it's like in between hentai and like right but not.
No.
It's just like fan service times 10,
Uh,
basically what it is.
oh, okay. So Sukuna with Yugi's body. I mean Yuji's body. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Their main goal is just like fan service. This is what it is. So I'm like,
I
I don't even know because then most of it is just mangas. So I try the most what I consume is manga basically.
I used to read manga, and then I don't.
I was
I
gonna
don't know what
give
the
you
frick
I was
happened.
gonna give you a recommendation, but I was like, I know we're this way too depressing because I know your mental state is similar to mine, so it's like this is not gonna work.
I don't know. Just throw it at me.
It's called Goodnight Pun Pun. I'm saying this is rough.
It
Like
remind
it's rough.
the name reminds me of that toilet anime, man.
No, I'm telling you, if you read like 10 chapters, you're gonna be like, oh god, oh god, because it's like it's literally just based on real life. Like there's no magic, there's nothing. It's just pure depression, and it gets like because it's I consider it the greatest manga of all time. It's my favorite, and most people have it with Berserk and Vagabond. If you understand the weight of that, because those are like the greatest mangas of all time. It is a masterpiece, but it's just like it's rough.
Bruh, so help me. If I get crippling depression when I go and look
Oh,
this up.
you're gonna get worse than crippling depression. You're gonna be like, okay, yeah, this didn't work out. Cause at the end of the day, I heard like it has like a happy ending because it sort of like explores how to get out of that. But you really are into the shit.
Remind me of how what anime did Deanna recommend me? High Rise. And I just she said it was good. She didn't say anything else. And I
Shit's-
just start watching it and I get immediately just triggered the first episode.
oh my gosh.
Have you seen it?
No, I've ever heard of it.
Bro, there's literally sexual assault. The first
Dude, I'm telling you, most of these things are just insane. I was like, what is going on?
it's the fact that it was it oh god.
So bad.
I only came because I saw this person cosplay as one of the people. And I greatly appreciated it.
Yes, yes. We don't need to get into the details. We don't need to. We don't need
What,
to Gus.
bruh? It's just like that lady. Oh god, what's her name from Resident Evil?
Let's
Mm,
just say I was seduced. Yes.
I don't blame you.
Yes.
Vampire lady, big, very large,
Very
very
large
tall.
eyes.
Yes, the
Yes.
eyes,
Yes.
very tall. Yes.
Yes. Very, very big thighs. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Step on me, please. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god, please step on my neck right now. Please. I
Bruh.
swear. Listen, everybody's gonna give up their free will as soon as you tell the tech utopians tells them you can smash an anime character. Everybody's like, bro, please hurry up. You know that shit's gonna happen.
What if the
They're
what
gonna
if it
turn
was
us into
reversed though?
robots.
We gonna have to lock Hunter out of this world because if it was reversed, I hide your kids.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Hisoka has a few issues. Just a few. Just a few. Just, just a few.
Sorry, he has many.
He has many issues.
We need to start by cutting off them dang fingernails, bruh.
But it's like it's so bad because he's a terrible person. But you're like, fuck, dude.
It's the it's the you know what? Let me start even janking on this man. I'm pretty sure he's not that bad.
I really dislike him though because I'm like I think what it is like this what I think. Yeah, do you know about Endeavor from My Hero Academia?
I have not watched in My Hero, but I do know that you're talking about Big Tonka Man who is
So
on fire.
what it is that he's abusive, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people, me included, right, to
Mm-hmm.
condemn it, right? Don't like the character, whatever, and it's especially bad because the author tries to sort of like give him a redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
So that's real bad. So a lot of people who are critical of that will say, well, why do you like someone like Pain or Obito or Aizen or something? Because they're mass murderers, but you condemn someone like Hisoka or Endeavor because pedophilia and abusive, right? And I would say is that most people may not know a serial killer or a mass murderer, but they do know a monster in the sense as an abusive person or you know sexual rapist or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and I really do care about this because there's so like what people don't understand. There's a lot more domestic abuse and violence and pedophilia and rape than people realize. You know.
97%.
So yep, you know, can't have laughs all the time. As
I
always
wish.
gotta get, always gotta peek your head in there somehow.
I
Start
mean,
scaring.
I don't know, bruh. I don't
Who
know.
who do you like more, Light or L? Don't tell me you haven't seen Death Note. I swear to God.
I, I haven't.
Oh
I haven't
my God.
finished it.
I am so disappointed in
I
you
was
right now.
I was watching it with my mom, and then we stopped.
I'm so disappointed.
I apologize, man. I kind of know how it
Bro,
ends, though.
I,
Like,
dude, you know what I just thought about? Beyblade. Oh my God, this is my shit.
oh no,
Fucking love
no.
Beyblade.
There's four strings on here.
Oh gosh. Hey, so we've been going for a while. Let's wrap this up.
Yes.
I'm gonna make some sandwiches. I gotta show you this piece. I don't know how to do the hair. You gotta help me out. All right.
Oh,
So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you, Jakira, for coming on, letting me scream about the CIA and giving your insights into it. And we agree on most things, so that helps. Uh, feeds my ego. Um, so yeah, we we probably talk so much shit about powerful people. We're probably gonna get assassinated,
oh God.
but it's okay because life's a tragedy. Uh, Other people will tell you about the good things. This is not one of those shows. So it's great. Just don't kill yourself. Uh, it'll work out. Probably not though. All right, see you, kids. Would you like to say
Um,
anything?
nah, just don't be like High Rise Invasion.
Oh gosh, yes, this is true. All right, see ya.
Lucis.